Welcome back. Now, the 6th Annual Innovator Trust Women in Tech Appreciation Experience is almost upon us. Set to take place on Wednesday, the 16th of November, the awards aim to honor female tech entrepreneurs from across the country for their outstanding achievements in leading their businesses. The gathering will once again challenge the current status quo in the state of women in technology and entrepreneurship. Now, to share a bit more on the upcoming awards, we're joined on Zoom by Tashleen Jooste. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the Innovator Trust. Tashleen, good morning. A very good morning to you. I mean, what is the current state of women in technology in South Africa in comparison to, let's say, other countries?
Good morning, Lebo, and thank you so much for having me. Although there's a lot of work and initiatives that are currently happening and specifically targeted at women in technology in South Africa, women still really remain largely underrepresented. Currently, women hold about 19% of the tech-related jobs at the top 10 global tech companies. In leadership positions at these global tech companies, women make up about 28%. In South Africa, less than 25% of tech jobs are currently being held by women. And if we look at the representation of the stats in relation to STEM subjects, women are still underrepresented in maths and statistics and technology, etc. And I think it's really as a result of women entering and being interested in the tech space at grassroots level. And there's fewer women interested at grassroots level. There will be a significantly smaller pool of female STEM talent, therefore restricting the potential for South Africa's technology sector.
Now, since you started the Innovator Trust Women in Tech program, how has that challenged the status quo?
Since the beginning, the Women in Tech platform has really been an extension of our mission as the Innovator Trust to nurture and to support the growth of sustainable SMMEs within the ICT sector in South Africa. And I believe that since the very first WIT event, we've really challenged the status quo by showing the evidence in a number of the female SMMEs that have graduated on our programs year on year, that not only can women just enter the tech space, but that they can actually thrive within it, that they are able to thrive and to succeed in jobs and roles such as engineers and developers and manufacturers. I also think that we challenge the status quo by creating a platform of WIT, which is Women in Tech, independently as a small female-run entity ourselves. It was women, for women, by women, and we recognize the work and the efforts of women entrepreneurs and SMMEs on the ground in South Africa and been able to give them the platform to elevate their voices on a much larger scale than they would have been able to do on their own. I also believe that the current female tech SMMEs, it gave them the opportunity to push themselves. You know, we've been able to encourage a younger generation of women also to explore the tech space as a viable career option, where they previously may not have done so.
In the 6th year, how would you say the awards have grown?
When we first started out with the awards, our audience was a very small group of just about 30 ladies. Though the group was very small, it was a physical event, and for the first few years, we were recognizing female entrepreneurs still that were very fierce and very passionate about their businesses. As the scope of our programs grew, so naturally our award categories would grow within the scope of WIT. And we do know that in terms of growing our reach, we've been able to grow our reach to a larger female base of tech SMMEs. In 2020, we had COVID. As a result, that had an interesting challenge for us. We could no longer do WIT as a physical event. So for the first time, we had a virtual event, which opened it up to a larger audience. We then went into last year where we had the hybrid event, and we managed to reach just under 500 attendees for the WIT event. So as we've been able to gather every year, we've been able to extend the message of WIT beyond just a physical event to an online event, but we've been able to curate content that will live online beyond WIT, beyond just being a one-day event. And I suppose that through that approach, the scope of the awards has ultimately been extended.
Let's talk about this year's event and what speakers have you lined up?
So this year's event is very exciting. Again, it's a one-day appreciation experience. We obviously are going to be announcing all our speakers over the next 2 years. It's quite a surprise, quite a big surprise. We've really sat back this year to curate specific speakers for the various conversations that we want to have. Just looking at last year's speakers, we had the likes of Professor Thuli Madonsela, we had Ms. Geraldine Fraser-Moleketi, we had the Minister at the event. So this year we've already requested, and we know we'll be announcing very soon. We know we have Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. We know that Ms. Irene Charnley will be joining us for the second time here. And it's really going to be a jam-packed lineup of robust conversations, lots of learning, lots of knowledge exchange, networking among female SMMEs, and then, of course, appreciating our SMMEs, but a huge celebration of the SMMEs and women entrepreneurs, like only ladies can.
I want to talk about the discussion, that will be held on the energy crisis in the SMME sector. What do you have, what do you have on the panel to discuss this?
So this segment specifically speaks to the impact that the energy crisis and the struggle has had on and the disruption that it's really had on South African SMMEs. So we really want to discuss it directly with the female entrepreneurs and have this conversation about what the impact has been on their survival rate, what the impact has had on their downtime, on their productivity, on their loss of revenue. So it's about understanding impact firstly. Then we've reached out from a conversation to our academia as well, to try and understand from an academic perspective what it means to align and how it would align with all the current reading material that are out there, all the conversations that are out there. How do we align all of these concerns, conversations, and really how do we allow or assist our SMMEs to prepare to coexist within these constrained environments that we live in, and really these conversations, I believe, are so important. These discussions are so important so that we can truly understand what our SMMEs or female entrepreneurs need in order to prepare for the future. Right. Again, like I said, we are sharing a couple of names, but yeah, it's a very exciting lineup.
All right, Tashlene Jooste, good luck with the event. Thank you so much for talking to us amid the ongoing challenges facing women in South Africa. Tech Entrepreneurship presents